Hello. Hello, art students. I hope you guys are doing well today. I'm sorry I'm laughing. This is like the 10th time I tried this video because one time I said video message instead of video message. And then like 2 more times my kids were laughing in the background. So I have a fun, colorful drawing project for you guys today. It is overlapping hot air balloons. It could be for any age group. It could be for my K4 kids. If you just want to draw one hot air balloon with patterns, that is totally okay with me. For my older kids, go ahead and challenge yourselves and try to show distance in your artwork, up close and far away. So we're going to get started with some basic things you'll need to know. But before I do that, you're going to need a pencil and a piece of white drawing paper. This is construction paper. It's 9 by 12. And if you just have copy paper, like I said before, you guys can totally just use copy paper, whatever paper you have, whatever is going to work for you and your family. I also have my Crayola markers and I have a Sharpie. You guys could use paint, crayons, colored pencils, whatever supplies you have at home, okay? It's just for fun and it's totally up to you. If you watch the cupcake video, you could even have fun with the marker and then you change it into, it looks like you're painting with a marker. So we're gonna get started. So first, we're gonna talk about foreground, middle ground, and background. That's the placement of where I put things on my paper and the sections in my paper. So we have foreground, middle ground, background. I'm gonna do mine this way, like my example. And then we have up close and far away. Probably should get my example for you guys. So look, foreground, middle ground, background, up close, far away. What do you think I did here to make this up close and make that one far away? I apologize for my Dora moments, but usually I would have students participating and I would say, yes, Johnny, good job. That's right. We draw bigger in our foreground, middle ground, and background, and then we get smaller as we go to our background so it looks like it's far away. Up close, far away. But you have to change the size because look, this hot air balloon takes up all 3 grounds, foreground, middle ground, background. This one takes up just the background. But look, really big, that means it's up close. Small and in my background means it's far away. So artists can kind of create illusions in the artwork. This is just a plain, flat surface, and I create an illusion of depth, one hot air balloon overlapping another. That's saying that this one comes first and then this one. But then I make it smaller back here, which implies it's far away. But look, it's just a piece of paper and it's flat and it's 2-dimensional. And today we're gonna focus also on lines, shape, and space. Positive space versus negative space. Positive space is where there's lines, shapes, and colors. So all my hot air balloons would be positive space. Then we have negative space. Negative space, I always tell my kids that it hugs the positive space. So wherever it's just the background is usually the negative space. So it touches the positive space. And then principles of art. So those are kind of like recipes we follow in order to make art. So we would need to have pattern, and we're going to use symmetrical balance for the shapes and the baskets of our hot air balloons. So symmetrical is a mirror image. So if you drew a line down the middle of your face, whatever's on this side would have a mirror image. Whatever's on this side, its mirror image is on this side. So, are you guys ready to get started? Yes, Miss Scott, we're ready to get started. That's Emma coming in from the garage. All right, so I'm going to start with my pencil and my paper, and I'm going to start with just part of a hot air balloon. Sometimes in art, when we want a good composition, we make things going off the paper so it appears to exist outside of our artwork. So I'm going to draw a very large part of a hot air balloon that touches my background, middle ground, and foreground. And I'm just going to go off to the side. And I said a fancy word, composition. Composition in art is the way you arrange your lines, shapes, and colors in art. And you break up your negative space, and it just makes your artwork more interesting. So I'm going to start with a big hot air balloon, just part of it. I also, for my younger kids, if you don't know how to draw a hot air balloon, what kind of shape do you see? What kind of shape is that? Not the whole hot air balloon, but just part of it. Good, it's a circle. Good job, guys. Yes. And then you have, you have a circle, and then you have a little bit more to add on down here, okay? So you start with a big circle, and then you could just add on a little part with vertical and horizontal. All right, so I have, actually mine just looks like a huge balloon, but all right, so I have the start of part of a hot air balloon. Then I'm going to incorporate my overlapping technique where one shape overlaps another. So you don't draw it see-through, you want to make it look like one balloon is taking up space in front of another balloon. So now I'm going to draw the other balloon in the middle ground, foreground, and background. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna show you guys. So remember I said it's a circle, and then you add on the bottom, but I felt like that was vague, so just watch. You're gonna use the element of line. What can I press on? All right, I'm gonna do it upside down. The element of line, I'm going diagonal. And then since it needs to be symmetrical, I'm gonna come in over here diagonal. See that? So it's really a big circle with a diagonal and a diagonal line. And then I'm going to finish it with not quite a horizontal. I'm going to actually add a little curve to it. A little curve. Reminds me of a light bulb. All right. So I'm only going to do 3 hot air balloons. I'm going to do another one back here. And what am I going to do to the size of the hot air balloon to imply that it's further away? Good job. I'm going to change the size. I'm going to make it smaller. So I'm going to start with my circle to diagonal line. I went a little not diagonal there for a second. Sorry, kiddos. All right. So I have 1, 2, 3. Up close, a little bit further away, and a little bit further away. And then I'm just going to add 2 vertical lines on each bottom of my hot air balloon. And then I'm going to put baskets. I'm going to go curved line, vertical, vertical, curved line. So look, vertical, vertical, curved line, vertical, vertical, curved line. I'm going to do the same on my bottom one, but I want you to see this. Look, I'm not gonna make this smaller and squeeze it in. That would make my drawing look even more fake. So I wanna use the art skills I'm learning and have a good composition and draw my basket going off the paper. I'm not gonna change the size of it to squeeze it on there and make it fit in. So I just add the lines so it goes off the paper on the bottom. So now you're gonna add in more elements of line. You're gonna start at the top of your hot air balloon and you're gonna go vertical. Start at the top and go vertical. Now this part is up to you guys. You can have different designs of lines coming in from the side to the middle and going back to the other side. You can have zigzag, you can have whatever you guys want. I'm gonna add a curved line, a C curve, and another C curve, haha. Well, I can't go here without knowing how to overlap because I don't wanna draw through my biggest hot air balloon. So look at my pencil. I would go here and I would stop because that implies that this balloon is covering this balloon. However, I need to make sure, watch my finger, I come around and I add that back in there. I'm just gonna add one C-curve line to my big balloon and then I'm going to add 2 to my small balloon. So what you couldn't see was I added 2 more to my small balloon and I added 1 to my big balloon. And to have some variety, I might wanna draw different patterns on all 3 balloons. I'm so sorry, I feel like I have to sneeze. All right, so I'm just gonna come in with a bumpy, a C-curve line, but I'm not going to have them line up perfectly. I'm gonna do a row here and then go in between each one, just so you could see what I did. I just did that, and now I'm just gonna space it out like that and draw C-curved lines going down. But I'm alternating in my placement. So one is high, one is low, one is high, one is low. So that also is a pattern. It's a line pattern. Just like that. If you guys don't want to get fancy schmancy, look, I could just go. Hang on. I just did curved lines, but look, in one of our previous videos, I said you shouldn't have a tangent line in art. So I went and start a line here for this balloon because tangent lines actually cause this uncomfortable, like bothersome kind of feeling within the viewer. So you always want to make sure when you start a line, it's not a part of another piece of your artwork. So I needed to make sure this line ended here and not here because that would create a tangent line. I needed to make sure this line came up here and not here. So I just make sure these lines do not match up with any of my designs in this hot air balloon. And then I'm just gonna do zigzag, but I'm not alternating my pattern. I'm just doing the same thing. Well, actually, I just accidentally made chevron, but that's okay. Alrighty. So, I have 3 hot air balloons. And you know what? I talked to you guys about composition today, and I said I was gonna only draw 3 hot air balloons, but I feel like this is not visually balanced. We talked about symmetrical balance. It's the same on both sides, but this is not visually balanced because look, it makes it heavy on this side. It's not visually pleasing in my balance because I have 2 heavy balloons over here and one that implies it's really small up in the background. So it almost looks like my paper goes like this. So who can tell me what I can do to make this drawing more visually balanced? Good job. I could add a part of another balloon over here. I miss you guys. This is not the same. I usually get like the best answers, the funniest answers. It doesn't matter if it's the wrong answer. It's the other answers that just make teaching so fun. So look, I added another hot air balloon over here, and I paid attention to my composition, the balance of my line, shape, and color, but for this, it's just line and shape. So look, I added part of a hot air balloon over here, so it's visually balanced. Now it's not going over here anymore, and it doesn't look off balance because I balanced it out by adding another shape on this side. And then this one, I'm just gonna repeat my vertical and my curved line, and for this, I'm just gonna add polka dots. Okie dokie. So now I have, I almost just said something really funny. I have 4 hot air balloons. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up close, a little further away because I'm decreasing the size of the hot air balloons, and it's in my foreground, middle ground, background. And then this one's really far away because it's in my background and it got way smaller. I'm not going to color mine in. I mean, I will, but I'm not going to do it right now. So my next step would be to get a Sharpie or whatever color materials you have. I think if you just outline it with one color, it would look really nice. And for those of you who don't remember what outlining is, it just means you take another writing tool and you trace over the lines you drew with pencil. I like using Sharpies, but I understand not all kids are allowed to use Sharpies. If you do use a Sharpie, make sure you have something underneath your paper. And then I used markers. And just so you know, you should really, when you color in with markers, you really need to make sure you are coloring with the best craftsmanship. You can't draw these amazing hot air balloons and learn about all this stuff like showing distance in an artwork and then scribble scrabble when you go to color in. It just doesn't work that way. You want to glorify God in everything you do. He gave you your skills in art. He gave you your gifts. So you should take great care in all things that you do, okay? So when I color in with marker, I like to go row by row by row by row. And I use the side of my marker. I only use the tip of my marker when I'm coloring a really small area. But for the rest of it, I use the side of my marker and I go row by row. And then sometimes I even outline it again, even though mine will have the black outline. I say make these really colorful. They'll remind you of spring and summer. That was one of my kids shutting the door. You can always color the background in with a crayon. I just feel like marker is a little bit much for really big areas. Plus, it makes your hot air balloons really stick out if you use another medium like colored pencil or crayon. And just a reminder that your sky hugs the hot air balloons, and when you color in your sky, you should color it in horizontal. Don't scribble scrabble and do all these circles because we could totally see it. And then if you color it in horizontal, it just makes your artwork look really nice. And then if you color in your, when you color these in, just try to have colorful patterns since we're working on pattern as well. Okie dokie. Well, I hope you guys enjoy the hot air balloon lesson, and I miss you guys so much. It's just so weird talking to my phone and recording this and not getting participation back, live participation. I do want to say thank you for all the emails and all the pictures y'all send me, and I miss you guys. I hope you guys are well, and I hope you have fun creating. God bless.